Okay, so let's jump into the news from the Faroe Islands today. We've got a bunch of articles here from KVF, in.fo, and VP.fo.
Oh, what?
Yeah, quite a stack. And we're going to try and break it all down for you, focusing on politics, some general news, sports, and we'll even take a peek at the weather.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, let's kick things off with politics. One of the big discussions today is all about possible changes to the electricity law.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Henrik Olds, he's voiced some concerns. You know, the idea of private companies selling electricity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he even compared it to what's been happening in Denmark with those high electricity prices.
That's interesting, especially with how the government's finances are looking right now.
Right. The reports are saying their revenue is lower than they expected.
Yeah.
And Imperos is saying that Magnus Rasmussen, he's actually suggesting they increase the government grant to deal with that.
Makes sense. On a completely different note, there's also the news about Ivan Nicholson. Resigning from KVF, the board made the announcement. Haven't heard anything from Nicholson himself yet, though.
It makes you wonder what happened, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But for now, we just have the board statement. So let's move on from politics for a bit. Let's look at some general news, actually some positive economic news here. Taxed salaries have gone up a lot, like 12.7 billion DKK paid out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a 6% increase.
That's a big jump. Shows the economy's doing pretty well.
For sure. And there's good news for the creative types, too. 4.5 million DKK in donations for film projects, and they've given out 30 film grants for 2024.
That's a big investment in the arts.
It is, but it's not all good news, unfortunately. Abe Rednam, the food bank, they're saying more and more people need help.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, something to keep in mind for sure. Now, let's change gears completely and talk about sports. All eyes are on the Faroe Islands with those World Cup qualifiers coming up.
Exciting. Haller Hansen said he's hoping to play against England.
I bet a lot of Faroes fans feel the same way.
Definitely. It's going to be tough, though. They're in Group L.
Yeah, some really strong teams there. Croatia or France could be in the mix.
And Czech Republic. And Montenegro, too.
Gonna be a real challenge for them. All right, let's finish up with a quick weather update. Doesn't look so good out there.
What's it looking like?
VP.fo is saying the conditions at sea are pretty bad. It's impacting the fishing industry.
Oh, yeah, I can see how that would be a problem.
They're saying fishing activity has been limited because of the changeable weather.
Hope it gets better soon.
Me too. So there you go. A quick look at some of the top news stories from the Faroe Islands today. We've covered politics, the economy, and even a bit about the World Cup qualifiers.
A good mix of everything.
It is. It is a good mix. It's like even though the Faroe Islands might seem kind of remote, there's always something happening.
You're absolutely right. And you know, it's these little stories, the ones that might seem small, that can actually tell us a lot.
Yeah, about the bigger picture. Before we finish up, I want to go back to a couple of things that really caught my attention. First, those possible changes to the electricity law.
Yeah,
Seems like, I don't know, a pretty complicated issue with a lot of consequences.
it is.
What do you think about Henrik Old, comparing it to Denmark?
Well, I think it raises a really important question, like what could this mean for electricity prices for people in the Faroe Islands?
Yeah.
If we look at Denmark, you know, they've had some issues with private companies and electricity prices, things going up and down, people worried about affording it.
I mean, guess why Old would be concerned then?
Exactly.
Seems like they need to really think this through.
Yeah, weigh the pros and cons carefully.
And then we've got the government's budget issue, not enough money coming in.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see what they do about that. Increasing the government grant, like Magnus Rasmussen suggested, could be one way.
Yeah, probably other ideas out there too.
Yeah, definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
And I'm still thinking about Ivan Nicholson resigning
I know,
from
right?
KVF. It's just, we only have what the board said,
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll find out more later on what really happened.
Transparency is important, especially for, public organizations like that.
Absolutely. On a brighter note, that news about the ATAX salaries going up is really good.
Yeah. 6% is a lot.
Shows that some parts of the economy are doing well.
Definitely. And all that money for film projects, that's great for the arts.
Yeah, 4.5 million DKK in donations, plus 30 film grants.
Shows they're serious about supporting art and culture.
For sure. But, like we talked about earlier, not everything is perfect, right?
Right.
With Arbidum, the food bank, needing to help more people.
Yeah, that's important to remember.
Shows that even when the economy is growing, not everyone benefits the same way.
Exactly. We need to make sure everyone is taken care of.
Absolutely.
Ow.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about those World Cup qualifiers. Lots of excitement around those.
Definitely, especially with the chance of the Faroe Islands playing against, big names like England.
Yeah, Haller Hansen wants to play against them. I bet a lot of Faroes fans are hoping for that, too.
Makes sense. But Group L, that's a tough group.
Yeah, some real challenges there.
Could end up against Croatia or France, on top of Czech Republic and Montenegro.
Going to be a tough road for them. No matter what, though, it'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
And finally, we can't forget about the weather.
Oh, yeah. How's it looking?
Not so good. It's been rough for the fishing industry, all those bad conditions at sea.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a problem.
Hopefully things calm down soon.
It would be good for everyone, especially the people who rely on fishing for their living.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've covered pretty much everything in our deep dive into the news from the Faroe Islands today.
We talked about a lot. Politics, the economy, social issues, sports, even the weather.
Yeah, a real snapshot of what's going on.
It is in this, special place. Now, if anyone wants to learn more about any of this stuff, all the articles, all the details are on KVF, in.fo, and vp.foo.
Go check them out. We just, scratched the surface here.
Yeah, lots more to dig into if you're interested. But we'll leave you with this. We saw some good things, the economy doing well.
Yeah.
But we also saw how not everyone is benefiting from that.
That's true. Makes you think, how do we make sure everyone benefits when things are good?
Yeah, how do we make sure progress helps everyone? It's a big question.
It is. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up our deep dive into the Faroe Islands today.
We covered a lot.
We did. Until next time, stay informed and keep exploring.